Hi everybody, I want to encourage you with something today. I want to encourage you to really think about who you're allowing to be your guru, who you're allowing to be your spiritual teacher. You know, it seems that there's so much pop spirituality around today, and quite frankly, I'm really sick of it. I've been off YouTube for a while because I just get so fed up with everybody. It's all about peddling something and trying to get rich or manifest something. And true spirituality has seemed to lost its whole thing of who you are as a person. How are you elevating your consciousness in far as who is the person that you are becoming, because that is true spiritual wealth, rather than like looking all the outside of things. I'm going to manifest a new car. I'm going to manifest my dream body. Woo! It's all about gain, and it can many times be selfish, ego-driven gain. Let's just call it what it really is. It's not true spirituality of looking at other people and thinking, how am I going to take care of that person? How am I going to elevate them? How am I going to serve them? It's all about so many times service to self in a disguise as spirituality. And I want to read something. I'm going to read it straight from the lips of Jesus. Okay, let me just, here it is. It's his words written in red. It says, beware of false prophets. Okay, so people who are self-proclaimed gurus or whatever it may be, who come disguised as harmless sheep, but they're really vicious wolves. And he says you can identify them by their fruit. That is by the way they act. Do you pick grapes from thorn bushes or figs from thistles? A good tree produces good fruit, and a bad tree produces bad fruit. A good tree cannot produce bad fruit, and a bad tree cannot produce good fruit. So every tree that does not produce good fruit is chopped down and thrown into the fire. Yeah, you can identify a fruit. Just as how you can identify a tree by its fruit, you can identify people by their actions. So I want you to think about that. You can identify people by their actions. Like, I am stepped so far out of fundamentalist Christianity. I used to totally believe that whole thing. And then when I stepped out in there and got more into the spiritual metaphysical realm and started tapping into the deeper teachings of Jesus, what he really meant about going within and knowing that Christ in you, that is the hope of glory, to tap into that Christ consciousness within you that is connected with the Father, the source, the divine consciousness that runs throughout all of this. Guys, that's what it's all about. But it's not for selfish gain and trying to manifest things here for your own ego. I see so many people and they're running to different people because they want a quick fix. They want to like, oh, as I said earlier, manifest my dream body, manifest my dream car. Is that really what life is truly about? Yes, I understand that it's important to have the things that we need in order to survive in this physical reality, to have food, to have shelter, to have clothing, to have those things, and yes, to enjoy life. But really, you can get all of that. And I think it was Jim Carrey that said, I wish everybody become as rich and famous as I am so they can see that that's not really where it's at. That's paraphrasing him. But that's what he realizes, that you can get to the top, have every single thing that you need or think that you need in this physical reality. But guys, when we step into true spirituality of understanding that if you want your heart to feel alive, if you want your heart to feel like this mystical connection with God and to have that love relationship with God, that's what's going to really fulfill you, to step into that true union and knowing that you are a divine being, that the Christ lives in you, that you are pretty much this consciousness having an experience. It's having an experience here as myself, as Susan, having an experience with you, that same power that runs through everything, through the animals, through everything, through the plants, through all of creation. When we start to understanding that and taking care of that rather than like raping the planet, not having any regard, but for people using everybody's necks as a stepping stone so you can manifest your dream reality, that is not true spirituality. That is not truly living that God life that Jesus calls us and other people to do. You know, I've seen, there's a teacher I've heard right now who's claiming that they're more enlightened than Jesus. I'm like, okay, really, let me see your life. How are you treating people? Are you kind? Are you unselfish? Are you willing to lay down your life for the other people? And think about what he said about harmless sheep. A sheep has no defense. It can't do anything. You know, we've used that term nowadays to as a derogatory thing, okay? A derogatory thing. Oh, you're such a sheep. But what Jesus, when he's talking about this, is a sheep is harmless. It's docile. It's really can't really defend itself against a wolf, right? It's not vicious. It's not going to attack you. Many times spiritual teachers, they're coming along, and it's in the Christian community, in the spiritual community, in the metaphysical community, in the mystical community, whatever you want to think about, call it, right? Whatever community that you're part of, there are people there who are pretty much this like fleecing the sheep. They're coming to you, oh, you know, let's go into oneness. Let's elevate our consciousness. Let's transcend our ego. Okay, well, let me see that. How are you fleshing that out in everyday life? Are you kind? Are you kind? Are you lying? Are you presenting something that's not really true? How are you treating the animals? How are you treating other people? How are you treating your family? And I'm not saying this to condemn you, okay? But Jesus said, all the crap like that is not of our true nature, allow that to be burned up. Not in this like fire of hell like you were taught to be so afraid of, but instead let that be disintegrated in the fire of love and start rising up from this lower nature and allowing yourself to transcend that. Guys, that is when you're going to find true fulfillment in life, is when you start allowing yourself to be that kind, loving, gentle, peaceful, good, wonderful person, to become like God. You know, Jesus said, why do you call me good? No one's good except God. And when we tap into that presence with God, that's when true goodness is going to start flowing out of us, not from our ego self, not even our spiritual ego self, because so many people, they got this ego mask. And I'm preaching to myself, this spiritual ego mask. I don't want to be that way. I want to be a truly elevated, conscious being who looks at other people through the eyes of love. And I believe that's what you want too. I truly do. I believe that deep down in the heart, when we start moving into that, that's when we're going to try true fulfillment. So anyway, be aware of people who are acting and trying to say this, whether it's Christian, Muslim, spiritual, metaphysical. Watch to see who you're getting your information from, because their lives should line up with one of love, kindness to all sentient life, to all people, to truly love God, love your neighbor as yourself. That's what it's all about, guys. So I hope that encourages you today. A little bit different from my other videos, I know, but this is what I felt led to share. Have a wonderful day, and remember that the power to transform your life is already within you. Bye for now.